Well, joining us on the program this evening, Oleksiy Goncharenko is a member of the Ukrainian parliament. Also with him is Abhay Singh, who is a Russian lawmaker. Thank you very much to both of you for joining us. Mr. Goncharenko, any surprises at all for you in Mr. Putin's speech today? There was a lot of speculation that he may actually escalate things with Ukraine, declare a war formally, or, ask for more people to be drafted. None of that happened. How did you read the language?
The language is clear that all this parrot was a threat to the free world, to the world of democracy, human rights. Putin is saying that I want to continue the war, I want to kill people. He is the renaissance of Nazism. And if Nazism in 1930s, 40s, it was German Nazism, today it's Russian Nazism. They're killing people in thousands, they're continuing the war in the middle of Europe. They attacked absolutely unjustified Ukraine and saying absolutely some very strange words about that was some prevention of what nobody knows. So that is the language which we hear for years already. And we see that he wants to continue the war. He wants to continue to threaten the security, the food security of the world. That is what he is doing, and he is giving example to our other dictatorships in the world what to do with democratic states.
Okay, let me ask Mr. Abhay Singh to respond to that. Mr. Singh, you are a Russian lawmaker. Some would say actually Vladimir Putin's speech today was more subdued than one would have expected. Is that because of the setbacks that Russia has faced militarily on the ground?
नमस्कार सब लोगों को जो हमें देख रहे हैं, और मैं हमारे अपने तरफ से सारे हिंदुस्तानियों को विक्ट्री डे की बधाई देना चाहता हूं। विक्ट्री डे ये एक बहुत बड़ा नाज़िज्म के ऊपर विजय दिवस है। ये हिटलर का जो नाज़िज्म था उसके ऊपर विजय दिवस है। और हमारे कलीग जो यूक्रेन से कह रहे हैं कि ये हमारे देश को नाज़िज्म हिटलर से कंपेयर किया जा रहा है, ये बिल्कुल गलत है। देखिए, जब सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर खत्म हुआ था, हमारी जब विजय हुई थी, उस समय सोवियत संघ था। सोवियत संघ में यूक्रेन के लोगों का, यूक्रेन के घर घर से किसी न किसी एक आदमी या कई लोगों का हाथ है इस नाज़िज्म के ऊपर जीत होने के लिए। और अब जो अंग्रेजों की पॉलिसी है, जो उन्होंने हिंदुस्तान के साथ किया, पाकिस्तान को हिंदुस्तान से अलग करके उनको हिंदुस्तान के अगेंस्ट में लड़वा रहा है, वही स्थिति अभी ये यूक्रेन को अलग करने के बाद इनका यही प्रयास है कि यूक्रेन और रशिया लड़ता रहे और वो लोग साइड से उनको फाइनेंशियल मदद देते रहे, हथियार से मदद देते रहे, साइड से बैठकर तमाशा देखते रहे, यही उनका मकसद है।
But Abhijit, can I request you to speak in English so that Mr. Goncharenko can also understand what you're saying? It's another matter that I'm fascinated. You're a Russian lawmaker who speaks Hindi. You're from Bihar originally, I believe, but that's a separate story. मतलब आप अंग्रेजी में इन्हें बताएंगे कि what you're trying to say? You're saying it's not fair to compare Putin to Hitler.
Of course, that is very big different thing.
All right, but Mr. Goncharenko, Mr. Singh is, he's a Russian lawmaker, so he's defending Putin's position on this. How long do you see this dragging on? We're already on day 75. There are huge human costs to this invasion, especially civilian costs on the ground. Is this something that could potentially go on for months, even years?
First of all, I didn't understand what was told by my colleague.
He basically said don't compare him to Hitler and that, Ukraine is a part of Russia. That's the bottom line.
Ukraine is the part of Russia? Why?
Well, I mean, that's his claim. That's Putin's vision, no?
No, Ukraine is not a part of Russia.
Ukraine
was a part of Soviet Union that time. And in Soviet Union, Ukrainian and Russian people, they were the same people.
It's quite strange to hear this. India was part of British Empire, but Indians are not British. It's different things. Ukraine was occupied by Russia for many years, but today Ukraine is an independent country for already 30 years. And Russia as the state acknowledged our borders and accepted our borders. And we had even treaties of peace for many years. We had normal relationships with Russia for years. But after this, Putin started the war. And you are saying he's not Hitler? Yes, he's not Hitler, he's Putin. But he's acting as Hitler, absolutely. Attacking peaceful, independent countries, killing people in thousands. He is more dangerous than Hitler because he has nuclear weapons. Hitler, fortunately for all of us, Hitler had not nuclear weapons. So I think that it's clear, absolutely, that those who are destroying the security, safety and peace in the world should be responsible for this.
Mr. Singh, do you want to respond to that?
Because that's what was done by Putin.
Mr. Singh,
Yeah,
also the threat of using nuclear weapons?
Yeah, there is no threat of nuclear weapons. Don't worry about that. But that threat is not for Ukrainian people. My colleague is telling that India is not a part of British Empire. But if you will check, you will go to if you will go back to the history 75 years ago, India and Pakistan was the same country. Pakistani and Indian, they were also Indian. But now Pakistan is another country, and he is a very big enemy of India. In the same condition, 30 years ago, Ukraine and Russia was the same country. But now, with the help of other countries, Ukraine is also an enemy country. When Ukraine became independent country, there was an agreement that Ukraine will not be a nuclear power, but guarantee of security of Ukraine will be given by United States and Russia. What happened? Slowly, people of Ukraine started creating the same situation what is in Pakistan.
All right,
So,
that's a strong comparison to make. And obviously you're making this.
I can't understand. May I react to what I've heard?
Yes, sure, quickly.
Thank you. First of all, Ukraine became independent in 1991, and Ukraine was a nuclear power. And in 1994, so 3 years after becoming independent, Ukraine voluntarily gave up nuclear weapons under the guarantees of the United States and Russian Federation. And after this, Russian Federation started a war against us. So we are the most peaceful nation in human history because we voluntarily gave up nuclear weapons. What comparison? I mean, I can't understand to other nations which are trying to receive nuclear weapons. But Ukraine had nuclear weapons and gave up it.
Right.
Just for non-proliferation.
Clearly, we're in for a very, very long, drawn-out sort of conflict here. 75 days, as I said, which really shows no signs of abating at the moment. Thank you to both of you for joining us with those very differing perspectives on the situation.